Part 1. The Overture. Somewhere north of Beijing, a wall climbs a mountain. Not up the slope, up the spine of it, over the sharpest ridge, down the other side, up the next one, and the next, as if someone drew a line across the hardest possible terrain and said, "Build here." Most walls follow the easiest path. This one follows the most difficult one. That was the point. You have seen photographs of this wall, stone battlements, watchtowers, a ribbon of grey unspooling across green mountains into the distance. What the photographs don't show is who put it there. This is a reconstruction of that. Part 2. The Descent. You are a conscripted laborer, Ming Dynasty, 1560s, Northern Hebei province. You were a farmer 3 months ago. You had a field, a wife, 2 children you haven't seen since spring. You did not volunteer for this. Nobody does. You are carrying a brick. It weighs 15 kilograms. You have carried approximately 40 of them today. Your back stopped hurting this morning, which you have learned means something worse than hurting. The ridge above you has no end you can see. Part 3. The world before light. The foreman walks the length of the worksite, striking a wooden clapper. That sound means rise. You have been awake for a while already. The ground you slept on is frozen. There is no barracks here, no shelter that wasn't built by the workers themselves from whatever the mountain offered. Scraps of timber, oiled cloth, the wall itself as a windbreak on the coldest nights. You sleep on the northern side when the wind comes from the south. You learn quickly which way it comes from. Look at the brick in your hand, turn it over. Stamped into the clay on the underside is a name, or a number, or a place. Every brick made for the Ming Great Wall was stamped with the identity of the craftsman who made it and the unit responsible for the section where it was laid. If the brick crumbled under inspection, the craftsman was punished. If the section failed, the unit was punished. Quality control through fear. It worked. The wall has stood for 500 years. The steepest sections cannot be reached by cart or donkey. The bricks go up by hand. Men stand in lines up the mountainside, each one passing a brick to the next, the chain stretching from the supply depot at the base to the masons working at the top. A single brick passes through 20 pairs of hands before it reaches the wall. The rhythm of it becomes mechanical after a few hours. Reach, receive, turn, pass, reach, receive, turn, pass. You stop thinking about what you're doing and start thinking about other things. Your field, the weight of your youngest child, the smell of the village at harvest time. The man behind you passes a brick. You receive it and pass it on. The Ming builders developed a technique for sections where the slope was too steep for a flat surface. They shaped the bricks into stairs. This sounds simple. It was not simple. The angle of each course had to account for the incline of the mountain, the direction of potential attack, the drainage of rain and snowmelt. Get it wrong and the wall slides. Nobody gets it wrong twice. The mortar that holds these bricks together was made from limestone burned in kilns and then mixed, in some sections, with sticky rice porridge. The sugars in the rice created a compound stronger than lime alone. Sticky rice was food, but here it was more valuable as mortar. The wall ate before the workers did. By late afternoon, the light changes fast in the mountains. The temperature drops before the sun is fully down. Men stop when the foreman's clapper sounds again. Not because the work is finished, but because working in darkness on a mountain ridge is how the wall gets more names in it. The wall has a name that history gave it later. The longest cemetery in the world, not a metaphor. When workers died on the more remote sections, there was no way to transport the body home, no time for the living to stop. The dead were buried in the fill material packed into the wall's interior. Their names, if they had been stamped on a brick, remained in the surface. If they had not, they remained in the wall in a different way. North of the wall, the grasslands begin. On a clear evening, you can see them from the parapet. Open, yellow-green, stretching to a horizon that seems further away than any horizon should be. Somewhere out there is the reason for all of this. The Mongols, the threat, the thing this wall is being built to stop. You have never seen a Mongol warrior. Most of the men building this wall haven't. The enemy is mostly theoretical, present as a reason, absent as a fact. What is not theoretical is the cold. What is not theoretical is the distance from home. What is not theoretical is the weight of a brick at the end of a day on a mountain when your back stopped hurting this morning. And that is starting to worry you. Part 4. The way out at Jiayuguan Pass, the westernmost fort of the Ming Great Wall, there is a single brick resting on a ledge above the gate. The story goes that when the fort was completed, the chief builder had calculated exactly how many bricks he would need. His supervisor told him that if he was even one brick off, he would be severely punished. When the fort was finished, one brick remained. The builder placed it on the ledge and told his supervisor it had been placed there by a spirit, and that if it were ever moved, the entire wall would fall to ruin. The supervisor left it where it was. The brick is still there. Nobody has moved it. Historians argue about whether the story is true. The brick doesn't care about that. The men who built this wall did not build monuments. They built the thing they were told to build with their hands and their backs and their names pressed into clay in mountains far from home for reasons that were explained to them but that did not require their agreement. The wall is still here. Most of their names are not.